Good morning. No, don't start. Okay, Vikings. Oh my God,
It is upon us.
it is upon us. It's Sunday morning. It is
Oh
upon
God,
us. The games are here. We've got start sits. We've got news. Let's see if did everything come out yet. It's what 11:30
nothing.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing popped up yet, but it'll start. It's 11:30 now, so it'll start filing in. So I got my sleeper app open. I got
All
obviously
right.
all the notifications, so we'll run through it as we go. But just really quick to kick this bad boy off. So I'm laying in bed last night, cuddling, spooning, whatever you want to call it. If you guys were on the show last night, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm in bed last night, and my wife was still up. She was actually up pretty late last night, which was surprising. But anyway, we turn off the lights. We're getting ready to go to bed, and I just whispered to her, "I'm like, I'm so happy Christmas is tomorrow." She said, "I'm gonna punch you square in the face right now." So yeah, the excitement is here, man. It is awesome. I got game day rolling. It's everything you could ever ask for. It feels like a brand new day.
Nice. Oh man, we have so there's two things I wanted to talk about. One is going to be Jalen Warren and Najee because everybody keeps thinking that Jalen Warren is going to, get some more work. And then the other one was going to be Baltimore's wide receivers, right? Who is the guy that is going to emerge today, hopefully? And it might take longer than that for us to know. Maybe that he kind of spreads it around a little bit, but we shall see.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, I'm actually messaging somebody right now. But yeah, they're saying Najee is was inefficient, and that's gonna when the more carries you get, you're not gonna have those high numbers as you normally would, right? Because you're getting now more carries, and you're not gonna break it out every single time. And we saw last year, I think the injury to Najee, obviously for the first half of the season, really kind of you know is what people are thinking about now and thinking, okay, Jalen Warren is going to get some more work. I just feel like that's really kind of what's causing everything.
Right.
And Jalen Warren has come out and said, Najee's the workhorse, like he's the dude. But then we've also seen reports that Jalen Warren is going to get more work, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, and I don't think it hurts Najee whatsoever. But what do you got? What do you think about the whole Najee and Jalen Warren?
Yeah, I think Najee is the unquestioned starter. Now, does that mean Jalen Warren doesn't get good work? No, that's not what it means. It means that Najee's going to probably get 70% of the carries, 70% of the snaps, etc. So I'm not worried about it. The one thing I will say that I do worry about a little bit is that if Najee is still inefficient, kind of like what we saw with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, where you knew Ezekiel Elliott was the unquestioned guy,
Mhm.
but Tony Pollard was the more explosive back, right? He provided bigger plays in the passing game. He looked a little more spry on his feet. So that's the one thing I kind of worry about. But even still, Ezekiel Elliott was still getting his work. He was still getting his touchdowns. Najee's still going to be the goal line back, so the upside for touchdowns is still there with Najee. He's a pretty good receiver in his own right. I just think they want a little more explosiveness in their offense, right? We kind of look at the Steelers and we're like, okay, Kenny Pickett, they got guys there. So I think this kind of reminds me, like I said, of the Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard situation from a year or two back, where we know who the starter is, but there's that guy over there that's kind of lightning in a bottle. So keep an eye out
Mhm.
for him.
Yeah, I just don't think Jalen Warren is a Tony Pollard type of guy. I don't think he's that. I don't think he can, he's not a guy that can handle a full workload. And I believe that once we see them start playing, it's going to be hard to take, Najee almost off the field. But like you said, even if he gets 70-30, which is not a horrible thing, he's still gonna be very good. But Dylan, what's up,
Absolutely.
Dylan? Hidden next. What's up, guys? Should I start Brandon Ayuk or Jamal Williams? Right, no Kendrick.
Ooh, that's spicy. Already off the rip. just because of the situation. We talked about Jamal Williams yesterday. I think we both. I've started to like Brandon Ayuk a little bit more, especially last year, seeing what he was able to do. I think, considering the situation, I think I like Jamal Williams just because there's really nobody else there. You know, Brandon Ayuk has a ton of competition for targets and reps and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's going to be Jamal Williams here just because of the situation.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with Jamal too, even though I love Ayuk. But I mean, they're going against the Steelers. That's going to be a good game. How does Brock Purdy look? You know, Debo is healthy. Kittle's a little banged up, but I think I'm going to roll with Jamal here too, just based on opportunity. I mean, there's literally nobody else there.
Really quick, Mark Andrews officially out.
Yep, we kind of were thinking that already. So fire up likely. You know,
I love that term. I kind of miss that term when a guy's out. You're like, fire up this guy, fire him up. That just gives me goosebumps when I start hearing that kind of terminology being used with our fantasy football guys.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm all for Najee. I mean, even this week, it's tough to like sit him because obviously it's kind of like it's a bad matchup. But at the same time, depending on what your other options are, like you kind of just got to roll with them.
So also too, really quick, it just came down. Zach Ertz is going to play for whatever that's worth, and Hollywood Brown is going to play.
Okay.
Or he's active. Yeah. Hollywood Brown's active.
They've got nobody else. I mean, I think he's going to be okay, but that's like almost a desperate start.
Which is the situation I'm in. So I'm desperately starting Hollywood Brown.
I think I am in one league actually too, so don't feel bad.
Bullshit.
You know, especially in more of the deeper leagues there, but you know, talking about Baltimore, I mean, Andrews is out, right? You got Likely coming in, but who's the wide receiver that's going to emerge? Is it going to be OBJ? Is it going to be Flowers? Is it going to be, you know, Bateman now that he's healthy?
So on that particular situation, I tend to lean more Bateman because he does have a rapport with Lamar Jackson. He's the guy that's been there the longest. So just on that alone, I would lean Bateman. But listen, they've had a full training camp together. There's really been no setbacks to any of those offensive skill guys outside of Mark Andrews, obviously, which is the big one. But I would lean towards Rashad Bateman, like I said, just because he's played with Lamar in game situations, right? I know Bateman's been hurt a ton, but he's been with him, right? He's had a rapport. They practiced together a ton. So I would lean Bateman, but you could really make the case for all three. I think it's like third. I would feel comfortable kind of with all three if you had any one of those three guys. There's not a lot much separating them. Odell's a little bit older. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Zay Flowers is a rookie in his first game. So that's why I was kind of just leaning towards Bateman because he does have a rapport with Lamar Jackson.
I think Bateman is a sneaky guy. I think we're going to be surprised of Bateman. We'll see how long OBJ can stay healthy and all that. But Johnny D, what's up, Johnny? How viable is it having ETN and Dameon Pierce as my running backs? Was able to grab Cheetah and CeeDee Lamb as my wide receivers. Unsure if my lack of quality at running back should have me looking for an upgrade. 10-team PPR.
I think really what's really good about this particular team, Johnny, is that you have Tyreek Hill and CeeDee Lamb, right? So that's going to that's going to make up for maybe average production at the running back position. Now in redraft, which I'm assuming this is, you have those hammers at wide receiver, so to have ETN and Pierce is actually not the worst thing, right? I've seen people with worse running backs, you know, if you have top notch wide receivers. So to have ETN and Dameon Pierce, I'm actually fine with that, considering you have two of the probably top 8 wide receivers on your team going into this particular season. So I think that's totally fine there. I wouldn't at this particular point. It depends on what the rest of your team looks like, but I wouldn't necessarily need to go out and spend an upgrade at running back right this second. Let this first week play out, see what it looks like. I think ETN's still going to be really productive on a good offense. Dameon Pierce is interesting, but if he's your RB2, you can be fine with Dameon Pierce as your RB2.
Yeah, I mean that's what you do when you go wide receiver early. You're going to lack at running back a little bit, but your wide receivers are going to make up for some of that. So, ETN I'm okay with. Dameon Pierce I look to maybe upgrade. I mean, 10 team. Can you trade Pearson, somebody else that you have on your bench? Like I'm not saying you're not trading Cheetah or CD. You're keeping those guys, but can you trade whoever else you have, on your bench and a Dameon Pierce to go and upgrade, at the running back position there? So that is something that I would look into, depending who you have on your bench there.
For sure.
Jay, what's up, Jay? Would you take a chance on JSN in the flex over who?
Mm-hmm. That is the question.
I would say that's the real question because JSN, I mean, they're saying that he's not going to be limited in any kind of way. But again, it is the first week, first NFL game. I'm still a little more comfortable with Lockett or DK than I am with JSN just yet.
Cordell Patterson, really quick, inactive.
Inactive Cordell, really?
That's interesting.
Well, it just goes to show you how good, how much Bijan means. I mean,
so really quick, I did want to ask you, what do you think? Do you think Algier gets any complimentary work, particularly in the red zone?
I don't think in the red zone. I think yes, he's going to get some work, but he's the obvious clear backup. He's not going to outtouch Bijan. But is he going to get some carries? Yeah. I mean, are they going to give Bijan 20 carries off the rip? I don't know, but they are a team that likes to run the ball a lot. So Algier will definitely get some burn, but I'm not worried about necessarily Algier or anything like that. But he'll get some carries. I expect if he gets 8 to 10 carries and Bijan gets like 18 to 20, I mean, we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see. My JSN over Swift, Jay said.
Man, that is tough. God damn. I'm staying away from DeAndre Swift. I've stayed away from him for the last 3 years. Yeah, fuck it. I'm taking JSN. I think there will be some spots where they'll work him in. I don't think he'll get a ton of targets, but I just don't trust DeAndre Swift. I don't know. Against Philly's playing New England. Oof. Yeah, I'd lean JSN. This is a tough one because there's concerns on both sides. Mm-hmm. JSN coming off the injury. How much is he actually going to be utilized? What if he re-aggravates the hand? So I'd lean JSN, but I don't feel great about it. I think you could go either way, and it's a risky play either way, to be honest with you. It's hard for me to be definitive one way or the other.
Yeah. I think I'm going to say Swift because I think the upside is there. Like at JSN, yeah. I think is going to be okay, but I don't know how much upside really we have here in
especially
game
early. Yeah,
they are going against a team that's not going to be very good. I don't know if they're going to be up in that game and run the ball.
Why risk it?
Yeah. So give me because I think there's a better chance of Swift maybe. Well, scoring, maybe there's not, but I think there's a better chance of Swift maybe breaking out a big one or scoring than there is JSN, with Lockett and DK kind of in that first game. So I'm going to lean Swift here. JSN would be a bold play.
Yeah, you know what? I agree, and the problem is I just don't like Swift that much. So for me to go out on a limb and say I'm going to pick him, but it makes sense. Like Swift has more upside in this particular week than JSN. If we were talking about, week 7 or 8, it's going to be JSN. It probably won't even be close at that point. But like I said, I just don't like Swift. It's so tough. So yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna roll with Swift there. in week 1. Johnny said, yeah, redraft won it all last season, so I was stuck with last first round picks each round. That's okay. Most of high end running backs went mostly in the first 2 rounds, which makes sense. Couldn't let the quality at wide receiver slip by. You did the right thing. When you have the back end pick and the top running backs go, I mean, it doesn't make
Take
sense
the
for
wide
you to take the
receivers. Yep.
8th, ninth, best running back if you can get, a top, 2, 3 wide receiver. So, yeah, you did the right thing there. You've got to just now, adjust or live with the fact that you're a little top heavy at wide receiver. You're not going to have those hitter, RB1s, unless you're lucky or unless some of these guys pan out. So, you should have a bunch of backup running backs on your bench.
Kev.
Yeah.
What it do?
What it do, Kev? What it do, baby? It's the Iceman, Paul Wall. I had that stuck in my head, bro. That's so old. Oh my god.
Paul Wall.
Jay said, I feel you on that, Hammer. I feel like Philly could finally have that pass catching back that could also contribute 10 to 12 carries with that O line.
So with Swift, the problem is that if it was, say, Swift and one other guy you felt had competition, you'd kind of feel more comfortable about it. But they have a plethora of guys, and I brought this up in previous shows where, number one, DeAndre Swift's injury concern obviously is first and foremost. Number two, there's basically 4 guys that they have with Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, Swift. They got Rashad Penny. So there's 4, and then Jalen Hurts is a running quarterback. So that's really 5 guys in that backfield that are going to siphon off rushing carries. It's really tough. I think he'll be utilized in spots, but the problem is when we're talking about fantasy, can I trust him? Right? Maybe they go with the hot hand. Philly has been known to go with the hot hand on running backs. See, the last game that Philadelphia played was the Super Bowl. Miles Sanders played the first quarter and then was ghost after that. So it's really hard to trust anybody in that Philly backfield. I do think he'll get some spots and he'll make some plays and be explosive when he gets it. How often is that going to be? And is he going to stay healthy over the course of a season? So it's really tough with Swift. But he does have more upside than JSN in this particular week. So Blanc kind of convinced me to roll with Swift there just on upside alone.
I mean, listen, health is always the issue with Swift, but he absolutely is probably going to get, 10-ish to 12 carries. I can absolutely see that. My biggest concern for Swift is that he's a pass catching specialist, and the Eagles don't really throw to their running backs like that, and they don't check it down like that. So, my thing with Swift is I'm hoping on the good side of things, if you look at that part of it, that they have certain packages and certain plays designed for him out of the backfield, to catch the football or to get involved. So that's what I hope. Because if it's the same playbook and everything, and they're not like really trying to get Swift the ball, then we can have an issue. But I think if they have specific packages and times that they want to get him the ball, I think that would be ideal. So yeah, give me Swift over JSN this week for sure. And we'll see what happens going forward.
I tend to agree. And also too, another factor is like they're probably going to run 70 offensive plays. They have AJ Brown, they have Dallas Goedert, they have Devonta Smith, all the running backs I talked about, plus Jalen Hurts, and his scrambling. So I just wonder how much meat is left on that bone for Swift to have. Now we have to see it. We kind of want to see what it looks like. And if he gets 10 to 12 opportunities in this game, that's a positive sign. If he gets 6, I would be a little worried. Yeah,
no, I'm with you there, because that's looking at the other side where where I originally look at it from is like, they don't throw the ball to the running back that much, so I don't know how valuable he's going to be. But we shall see kind of how they deploy him. That's going to be the interesting part of it, with Penny and Gainwell and, Boston Scott. I mean, those guys weren't fantasy relevant, but they just kept getting in the way of everything. So
right.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that's that's best case scenario for Swift when you look at it, which he has, opportunity to do work. But again, like you said, there's a ton of guys there. I don't know.
Oh shit! What time does what Kittle plays at? Oh no! Oh, Kittle active.
He's playing. Yeah, I saw that.
All right. Whew, I was getting nervous because the only other tight end I have Hayden Hurst, but he plays at 1:00. I would have been basically forced to either play him or Michael Mayer. But Kittle's active, so if you got Kittle, I know we had a question yesterday, right, with Kittle. I don't remember who the question was, but if you have Kittle and you're watching out there, fire him up because the position is so shallow that he's one of those guys. He's a difference maker. Let's call it what it is. And with the Kelsey out, with Mark Andrews out, Kittle has a top 5 week potential in him, top 3 really. If you look at the landscape of tight ends out there, Kittle has top 3 finish for the week for this particular game.
Yeah, I think they came out with the inactive list finally. So yeah, Ertz is playing like you said. I mean, Trey McBride is probably going to see most of the work there, but you can't play any of those guys. Marquise Brown, like you said, is active, but it is a hammy, so he is going to be the only guy there in a desperate situation. You can play Hollywood, but I'm not real comfortable with that. Patterson, like you said, was inactive. Mark Andrews obviously is not playing. Adam Thielen is playing. DJ Shark is out. So you've got Thielen, you've got Mingo. Maybe Miles Sanders gets more work, but maybe they load the box. I mean, how safe do we feel with Miles Sanders? They're going against Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm not. I think Miles Sanders will get good enough work. I think they want to protect their young quarterback, and utilize Miles Sanders. And Miles Sanders can catch the ball out of the backfield, so I'm not opposed to running Miles Sanders out there. I think he'll get 20 opportunities this game.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think so too. It just, he's another guy where it's like, yes, they paid him, but like, okay, what is the workload? Is it really he's the 3-down guy? Like, is that really what it is? I mean, there's not much else there. So
even if he's not a 3-down guy, there's still enough work to go around. Yeah, there's still enough to go around for him. And they're not going to pay. And also too, number one, you brought it up really quick. They paid him, right? So they're not going to pay him for him to be some sort of package guy, obviously. And they have a rookie quarterback in his first game. You don't think they're going to utilize that running back to take some pressure off him?
Yeah. iDub, morning, brother. Debating Cooper over Higgins, who I have Burrow, but Cooper is a dog at home.
Well, if you're debating Cooper over Higgins, who the hell else do you have? Like that, those are guys that you kind of want to start every single damn week if you can, those are guys that are not out of a lot of lineups. I wonder how deep the league actually is. It might be a 8 or 10 man. This is a tough one. The stack is nice, but they have a full complement. Jamar Chase is there. I don't know, man. This is a flip of a coin, honestly. Amari Cooper.
Yeah, who are the other guys that you have on your team? Does it have to be Cooper or Higgins? Can it be anything else? Is there any other possibility?
Because you want to play both of these guys.
It could be a high scoring game. I like both of these guys this week, but I mean, being that you have the stack, that's either going to make you or break you if you play Higgins. So you might win it or lose it on that alone. But give me Burrow and Higgins. I think with the stack, it kind of makes it a little bit more worth it. You have a little bit more upside. I think I love Cooper this week, but being that it's a stack, I think I'll go Higgins, man. That's tough. Chubb, Mixon, Bijan, Diggs, Garrett Wilson, Cooper, Higgins would be the big guy.
Damn.
Well, I mean, you could necessarily play both. What if you pull out Mixon, play Chubb and Bijan, and then play Cooper, Higgins, Diggs, and Garrett Wilson? Or do we think we absolutely have to start Mixon here?
I think I'm going Chubb and Bijan. I think Mixon, I would rather have Cooper or Higgins over Mixon, right? Mixon doesn't get a ton. He's not very efficient. He gets good volume. But this is a game that you think could be on the higher scoring side. So maybe Joe Burrow and Deshaun Watson combined for 75 plus passes in the game combined, potentially 80. Yeah, I think I'd rather take Cooper or Higgins upside over Mixon. Now, we've seen Joe Mixon go out there and go on a rampage where he scores 3 or 4 touchdowns in a game. We've seen it before, but I think the chances of Cooper or Higgins outscoring Joe Mixon are higher. So, yeah, I'd take Cooper or Higgins. I'd take Cooper and Higgins over Mixon. So you basically take Mixon out and put Cooper and Higgins in there.
Yeah, I think that might be the better option. Now, Diggs has a tough matchup, but there's no way you can.
He's still that dude. He's still that dude. Yeah.
You know, even with the tough matchup there. So, man,
let me get a drink.
But yeah, I do think I like that. IW, what do you think of that? What do you think of that? Sit and Mixon. You guys think in the chat. Let us know. Do you guys think sit and Mixon and playing Cooper and Higgins would be better? Oh, you got the do. You fuck. I ran out of dues.
So I make a Walmart trip once a week now to get Mountain Dew. I'm not fucking around. Once a week.
Man, I like the perspective. It's PPR, so benching Mixon is a decent idea. Yeah, I mean Mixon does catch. He catches a lot of passes too. I mean, so that is you know, it's interesting. There's no Pirine there now, right? So you know, you're taking a chance. Either way, you're taking a little bit of a risk or a gamble. So depending how you feel about Mixon, you know, Cooper and Higgins could be the options there. Otherwise, I don't know. I think maybe the stack makes me like Higgins more, but yeah, man, that's what I'm kind of thinking there. Let me come on. Let me see if I'm gonna go live on Instagram quick and see who we got out there. Oh shit, that I did not want to do. Details. There we go. All right. Let me go over the rest of the inactives that we got coming out, bro. Oh, Jeremy, what up, dog? What up, Jeremy? My guy. Who you got? What lineup questions you got today, Jeremy? Who do you have? What decisions do you have to make there? Mechie's out, right? Zach Moss is inactive. Kendre Miller we talked about is out. So Jamal Williams is an excellent play today. 4 o'clock games. Jerry Jeudy still questionable. Brees Hall or Mingo Hammer? We've got a call here or something on Instagram here. Hall or Mingo? Who we got?
You know Brees Hall's going to be on a snap count. But he could break one. They said from everything they said, he still looks good. Monday night in Buffalo, I think the Jets want to win. I think Brees Hall has a little more upside here. I think I'm going to go Brees Hall here.
Yeah, I mean, even though Mingo is definitely a decent play with you know, with the injuries, I think I'm going Brees Hall as well, even with the limited time. I mean, does he get a goal line work? You know, is it split 50-50? He could definitely break one out. We've seen that plenty of times. So yeah, I'm going Brees there. Appreciate you, Pars International. We got Kenneth Walker or Damian Pierce PPR. It's going to be Kenneth Walker for me in that matchup for sure. What do you think, Hammer?
Yeah, I would agree, and I think the fact that they're playing the Rams, who I think Seattle's going to win that game. No Cooper Kupp. That Rams offense, we're not sure. That offensive line is not great. And I think the Seattle Seahawks will be able to take control of that game. Now, if they kind of get ahead early, are they going to run Sharps a little bit more? With Kenneth Walker, he was dealing with an injury in the preseason and throughout training camp. But yeah, I think Kenneth Walker has some more upside here.
Yeah. He says, I feel like Hall is a safer floor, Mingo higher ceiling.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't forget, Mingo is still a rookie. I know he's got a great opportunity,
and he's playing with a rookie quarterback.
It could be a little rough at first, Tweeters, hey fellas, Breece Hall or Rashard White PPR?
Rashard White.
Chris says go Rashard White. I think I probably want to go with Rashard there as well, even though that's tough because I'm not a Rashard White lover. But give me Rashard White, who's going to get the most of the work against a not so great Vikings defense. So yeah, give me Rashard there. Appreciate y'all. Jeremy said Madison, Sutton, or McLaurin at the flex. Okay, oof.
Damn, Jeremy, you're really running us through the paces early. You're really getting this hammer rolling early, no pun intended. I think I'm taking McLaurin out just because he is coming off the injury. Okay. So I'm eliminating McLaurin there. I do like Sutton, but we don't know if Judy's going to be out. I think Judy will be limited anyway off a hamstring. Give me Madison here.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, Terry's got the best matchup, right? Sutton might be really the only guy there, him and Mims. And then you've got Madison, who was going to get most of the work. I mean, there's nobody else. It's close between Madison and Sutton here. I just feel like Sutton can catch some bombs. Russ likes to throw that deep ball, but it's hard to trust Russ. So yeah, give me Madison. Give me the better offense in a game that I think the Vikings are going to be up. So hopefully they're running the football. But yeah, give me Madison. He's going to get he's going to get the majority of the touches. So I feel like that's probably the safer play here.
Yep.
Yeah. Parr said, I just don't see them paying Cook all that money and using Breece that much. Think they ease him in. No, absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. I think we've talked about this, numerous times on the channel where, they are going to ease Breece Hall back in. Absolutely. But, depending what your other option is that you can play, like Breece Hall could be the better option, depending on your situation. So I absolutely do think they ease him in. And I think, towards the end of the season, he's really going to ramp up. So Sutton will be the Michael Thomas in that offense. I don't know about Michael Thomas. That's a big ask. But I do like Sutton. I do like Sutton. Don't get me wrong. I do like Sutton, especially with Judy out. But how much are we trusting Russ here? I don't even think Sean Payton trusts Rush. I don't think Sean Payton even wants Russ. I don't know. I get that.
We heard some rumblings about who's the backup there now? Is it Jarrett Stidham?
What rumblings? I didn't hear rumblings.
I heard some rumblings that if Russ doesn't get his shit together, it could be Jarrett Stidham.
Maybe. I don't think Sean Payton's fucking around. He doesn't take
no.
Shit.
Then that's the point.
DJ Moore or Mike Evans, Hammer.
Ooh, I like this one as well. Man, you guys are fucking locked and loaded. I love this shit.
Jeremy said Mike Evans gonna go boom with Baker. I don't know.
I don't. Yeah. Who do we do we trust Baker?
And we talked about DJ Moore yesterday with going against possibly Alexander, right?
Yeah.
So, is he following him around or not? Mike Evans, we talked about, pretty good matchup against the Vikings defense. But how much are you going to trust Baker Mayfield? And don't forget, you still got Chris Godwin, right? So
I think I'll roll DJ Moore here. I've seen that Justin Fields DJ Moore connection this preseason. So I think I'll roll with that one and feel a little bit safer. I do like Mike Evans, but I think DJ Moore has the higher floor. I guess that's the point here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go DJ as well. That's a tough one, though. I just don't trust Baker. I mean, the Vikings' defensive line is pretty good. If they can get to Baker, and the Vikings have talked about attacking more, on defense. And, what that means, I don't know. But give me DJ Moore. Give me DJ Moore. Sean Payton ain't fucking around. No, he's not. McLaurin coming off dumbass turf toe with this half stupid QB got me worried.
Rightfully so.
But yeah, I'm off of McLaurin. I'm a little worried about the turf toe. Hopefully that doesn't linger on because that's something that could really linger or get worse. So
yes, it can.
I feel you. Mike Evans will have a safer floor. DJ Moore, higher upside.
I actually feel the opposite way.
Yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, I think I do too. Mike Evans could catch a touchdown, but I don't know how much he's. I don't know, man. I don't know.
And it comes
to Baker. So give me DJ Moore on a team where they're going to focus on getting him the football one way or another. I think they're going to scheme it in to try and get him the football. Where Mike Evans is a little bit different.
Yep.
So no problem, Robert. Appreciate you. Beamer said, "Happy football day, fellas." Yes, sir. We are finally here, back in action. I mean. Damn,
man, 6 months.
It's
been 6 months.
We're an hour away. Going back to the inactives and injuries, we've got Dubs, whatever you want to call them. Could go either way. Looks like he's leaning towards playing, but is still questionable. So Jaden Reed, Musgrave, they become decent plays.
Yep.
I'm good with Jaden Reed, actually. They got to throw the football in.
Yeah, I've got Jaden Reed. In a couple of leagues. I'm only playing him in one league because I have better options in another league. So I have Jaden Reed, but my other receivers are CeeDee Lamb, Deontay Johnson, and Drake London. So I'm not playing Jaden Reed over any of those other guys. But in our home dynasty league, no Christian Watson for me on that team. So Jaden Reed pretty much, fills in there. And then obviously Cooper Kupp on IR, so I'm kind of forced to play Jaden Reed at that point. So yeah, Jaden Reed is a good pick, especially if you have Christian Watson. Most people would have had Christian Watson in their starting lineups for this particular week. So if you happen to pick up Jaden Reed in either your rookie draft or really really late in your redrafts and you had Watson, Jaden Reed is not a bad play this week.
Should I drop Russell Wilson and pick up Daniel Jones off of waivers?
There's a case to be made for that. I don't know if I want to make that case, but there's a case to be made, right?
Yeah, give me Daniel Jones. I mean, give me the rushing upside.
Yeah. Russ doesn't really run anymore.
The Cowboys defense is,
Micah Parsons is a bad mother.
Is pretty good, but I feel a lot safer, I think, with Daniel Jones than I do Russell Wilson.
Now, the matchups, right? Russell Wilson's playing Vegas. So
yeah,
that's the flip side to that coin. So you can make the argument. I would rather have Daniel Jones over the course of the season, but for week one, I think I'm going to roll with Russell Wilson, even if Jerry Jeudy's not playing, just because I think that Raiders defense is nowhere near that Dallas defense. And with Micah Parsons trying to track down Daniel Jones, and you got some other talented guys on that Dallas defense, particularly in the secondary. Don't forget, Dallas picked up Stephon Gilmore, all-pro corner, to go with Trayvon Diggs. So I'm staying away from Daniel Jones this week. I'm actually would prefer Russell Wilson for week one. I would prefer Daniel Jones over the course of the season, but give me Russell Wilson in week one against the Raiders.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say is over the course of the season, I think I like Daniel Jones a lot more. But when you're talking about just for this week, you could definitely make the case still for Daniel Jones this week.
You could.
But no, fuck it. Give me Daniel Jones, bro. I'm not fucking with Russ. I'm not.
Russ at home.
I know. I don't care. Give me Daniel Jones.
I don't care. I love that. That's the best answer you
Oh,
could
he's
give.
got Burrow as a starter, so he would be on the bench. Yeah, so if you're talking about a guy for the bench,
Oh,
then
oh,
hold Daniel Jones. But if guys like that are going to be on waivers, I wouldn't even recommend to hold a backup QB. To be honest, if you can just pick up guys like that off of the waivers, I mean, there's not really much advantage to you to have that guy on your bench because you could use that bench spot for some kind of backup running back that might get some playing time if somebody gets hurt or some other wide receiver. So. Yeah, if that's just available on the waivers, then I would. And every league is different, right? I typically say don't carry a backup quarterback because most of the time there's just good backups on the waiver wires. But if you're in a league where guys are all rostering backup QBs and there's not much, on the waiver wire, then I would recommend doing it. But Mike Scott said London or Akers in the flex. Oh, London, baby.
yeah, Drake London. I think a lot of people,
London.
and I told myself this season because before last season, right? Remember when the Rams went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and Cam Akers looked pretty damn good before he got hurt. Everybody going into last season was very, very high on Cam Akers. Clearly, that didn't work out until the end of the season. I'm shocked that Cam Akers is still on that team, to be honest with you. But I told myself this season I'm staying away from Cam Akers. I kind of got burned last year a little bit. So I'm staying away from Cam Akers. I'm taking Drake London here.
Yeah, taking Drake London. No Cooper Kupp, right? An offense that's probably not going to be good. A defense that's probably going to stack the box, against Akers and make them beat him with the pass with some of those wide receivers. So yeah, give me London for sure here. Absolutely. I'm not an Akers guy to begin with, but especially this particular week, yeah, give me London. No, I appreciate you, Mike. Appreciate you.
So I wanted to throw something out there really quick. Do you, when you're deciding who to play, like if you have flex options, if you have maybe a plus matchup on somebody, do you look at the weather report? I know it's the first week of September. So most of the weather is pretty good for the first 4 weeks or so before we really start getting into the colder weather, windy, snow, whatever. But do you take weather into a factor when you're deciding who to play?
Yes, it's always something to look at because that could sway your decision if it's a close decision but in a flex or something like that. If you know there's going to be some bad weather, kickers, defense, of course, that's always important. I'm actually going to bring it up on the screen here. I'll give you my little cheat sheet. So Roto Grinders has an awesome weather report thing that you can look at. And let me see if I can zoom in on this. Can you see that?
A little bit. It's a little small, but you can see it.
But you've got, and it tells you, they give you like green, yellow, or red, depending on the weather and stuff. So they'll tell you Houston, Baltimore, green, chance of showers, but it looks like timing may work out pretty well to avoid anything particularly disruptive here. You've got yellow, decent shot of running into at least some rain in that Denver and Raiders game. I'll call it off to showers, winds around 10 miles per hour. So these are very important, especially for kickers. I love to look at this for kickers, especially if you're plugging and playing guys. Kickers that kick in the dome are always going to be, guys that you want to look to go and play on any particular week. But, scattered showers, you can see what the wind is. So it doesn't look like there's anything really really crazy going off the bat. But they've got every game here. They'll tell you whether the game's in the dome or not.
Fantastic.
So this is Roto Grinders. Maybe I'll post it in the chat here.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say post that bad boy in the chat. That is fantastic. And I think really quick, that is one of the underrated elements of fantasy football. We look at the players, we look at the matchups, we look at the stats, we look at the WARP, we look at all that stuff. Stacks, this, that. The weather is something that, especially, like I said, early September, it's not going to be that much of a factor as it will be in 2 months, in 3 months, right? Mm-hmm. But I think this can kind of make or break. And this is another additional tool at your disposal, especially with this thing. This is fantastic. That you can use to get a leg up on your competition. You know what I mean? Maybe the competition doesn't really pay attention to weather. Sometimes I don't even remember to check the weather report. But obviously, I'm always watching my pregame shows. They give you the weather report. That's a big staple on these pregame shows. So weather report really could be a big factor if you need a big win.
Yeah, definitely. EKC said Dynasty Superflex PPR trade DK, or I'm guessing he means Drake London. Is this close? Yeah, I'm gonna take Drake London. I have him ranked higher than DK in Dynasty. Drake London just an up and coming star. But yeah, give me Drake London there. But it is close. They're not crazy far apart, in rankings. But what is your take on that, Hammer? You like DK or you like Drake London?
Oh my God, it's tough. I know. It's tough because we don't know how long Geno Smith is going to be there. Is Geno Smith the long-term answer? And realistically, you can make the same case for the Atlanta quarterback situation. So I think I'm actually going to lean DK Metcalf here just because he's always going to be a red zone threat. Now, obviously Drake London is a little bit younger, but DK Metcalf's not an old dude by any stretch of the imagination. So give me DK Metcalf just because he'll be a big-time red zone target no matter who the quarterback is. So I like DK Metcalf because of his build. Big, strong, physical guy. I'll take DK Metcalf, but it's extremely close. And also, too, I like DK Metcalf's situation a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm on the other side just because I think London has some more upside as like the real just wide receiver one. Obviously, there's nobody else there. DK obviously got Lockett right now, and Lockett's finished higher than him, the past few seasons. And then you got JSN coming in, so I think DK is still a top 15 guy. I don't think I'm not trying to say that he's not, but I just feel like I like London more. And then just in the pure process of just value in general and what the dynasty community thinks and feels out there, Drake London is higher. People prefer Drake London over DK Metcalf. So just in that perspective, as well as far as a value perspective, you can get more if you wanted to trade Drake London than you could with DK Metcalf. Joshua, what's up, Joshua? Breece Hall or Swift, full PPR RB2 spot? We talked about both of these guys kind of heavily already, but
yeah, we did.
Breece or Swifty?
Oh my God, this is fucking bullshit. This is tough. This is a tough one, right? Dalvin Cook. I gotta imagine Dalvin Cook is gonna get good work. They're gonna work Breece Hall back. Like I said, obviously we've talked about it. Man, DeAndre Swift. Why does everybody have DeAndre Swift? I'm sick of it. Get rid of him. You know what? For this week, give me DeAndre Swift just because there could be some receiving upside. I do like Breece Hall. I just don't know what his snap count is going to be. You could say the same thing for DeAndre Swift. Man, fuck it. Give me Breece Hall. Fuck DeAndre Swift. Give me Breece Hall.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm going with Breece too. It's a close call, but give me Breece. Give me Breece. Even
I feel like they both
snaps, like they're both going to be limited in some capacity.
Yep.
But give me Swift. Give me Swift. Give me Breece. Give me Breece. I'm going with Breece here.
Yeah, I feel like they'll both get 10 to 12 opportunities in week one.
Yeah,
but definitely. I don't know, especially with Swift. There's more competition for Swift, so give me Breece Hall.
Terry, Ayuk, or Javonte in the flex. Go Bills podcast. What up, brother? He said go Bills.
Go Bills. What's up, brother? This one is... Give me Ayuk here.
You're McLaurin, Ayuk, or Javonte. Yeah, I know
Trey's
coming off the turf toe, but it's an awesome matchup. You've got Ayuk. You've got Javonte. We don't know how much Javonte is going to play. We've heard conflicting reports there. One day he's going to get a ton of work. The next day, we're going to ease him in. He might be on account. I don't know. So yeah, give me Ayuk as well. I feel like Ayuk is probably the safer play there. Jay said, side note, I appreciate you and Hammer for the content, keeping the dynasty players going. Plus, I'm the honorary third member of the stream. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Always, there it is. Making his presence known. I like it.
Appreciate you guys. Hammer almost had a panic attack with the Swift comment.
I fucking hate DeAndre Swift. I've hated him for 3 years now. Fucking
Oh my
DeAndre
god.
Swift. Oh my
DJ
god.
Duvernay, what is up, man? It's been a while. Appreciate you coming in. Pick one flex full PPR. James Cook, Herbs, Hopkins. Lattimore on Hopkins all game scares me. Not sure how much Roshan plays for the Bears. Cook got tough matchup. Yeah, absolutely. You're pointing out all the things that we're, that we think as well. And I don't love Herbert. Like, I'm not a vivid Herbert believer. I don't know what's going to happen with that backfield, and that absolutely worries me. Cook, like you said, tough matchup. That worries me. And then you've got D-Hop, like you said, going against Lattimore. But, I mean, D-Hop is still D-Hop. I don't really care who's covering him almost, even though he's a little bit older now. But, so, yeah, this is tough, but I think I'm still going to go with D-Hop. I think I feel safer with D-Hop still. I think he's still going to get targeted. Is Lattimore going to win some of the matchups? Yeah, sure. But is D-Hop going to win some of the matchups? Yeah, I think so also. So this is a tough one, but give me Hopkins when he's all really they have.
The tough thing, or the one thing that a lot of these older veteran receivers don't lose is their hands, right? Your hands don't deteriorate. Your legs might, your knees might, your ACLs might, your speed might, your hands don't. Now, separation matters, obviously, but DeAndre Hopkins is one of the guys we've seen with probably some of the best hands. I could think of Larry Fitzgerald, reminds me a little bit. When Larry Fitzgerald got older, he was still effective. So I think there's a similar path there. So, yeah, I think I like DeAndre Hopkins as well, just for some consistent production. He's not going to get you, 8 catches for 125 anymore. He might get you 6 catches for 60, but if he gets in the end zone, now you're talking about found gold. So, yeah, I think I like DeAndre Hopkins a little bit. James Cook is an interesting play, just because I don't think they're going to use James Cook as a between the tackles guy. They have who the fuck do they have in Buffalo now for that? Not a Singletary, right? No,
Harris and
Damian Harris.
Yeah,
Damian Harris. So I think there is some PPR upside for James Cook, but you brought up as well, how much does Buffalo, similar to Philadelphia, how much does Buffalo actually throw to their running backs? So I'll take DeAndre Hopkins here, but I do like James Cook in PPR. So if you look at it from that side, you can roll that way, but Hopkins is going to get some targets. That's a tough one. Yeah, lean Hopkins, but Cook is an interesting play. I know it's a tough matchup, but Bills are not gonna get shut out.
Yeah. Philly Mike, what's up, man? Metcalf or Olave in the flex?
Ooh. Yeah, Olave.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Olave as well here. Cash 20s, I'm stacking Hurts right now with Eckler and B-Rob. Okay, I like that. Justin Jefferson and Chase. Would you do anything different?
I guess it depends on what the other options are. I'm not crazy familiar with the cash tournaments. I know, we kind of know how they work a little bit. I mean, Justin Jefferson and Chase, Jesus, that'll work with Hurts. I think the good thing, because you got Hurts, you're going to get the rushing upside to make up for B-Rob and Eckler. And those guys are really good pass catchers, Eckler and B-Rob. So I think this is built kind of the way you want it, where if you're not going to get a ton of rushing on the ground, you're going to make up some of that with Hurts. I know Philly is playing New England, which they struggle against running quarterbacks. So I do like this particular setup here. And Eckler is going to be fantastic. He's going to run wild in that fucking Miami game. He's going to get catches. Eckler could have 2 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah, I like that. I don't do much of the cash 20s. I don't think either of us do much of the cash 20 stuff, but we will try and help you out as much as we can here. Godwin or Dotson in the flex. That's actually a really good one.
That is a good one. Give me Chris Godwin.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Godwin also, but I could see Dotson having a big game. Terry's just coming back. They have a good matchup. But yeah, give me Godwin against the bad Vikings defense. Should I stack running backs like Eckler and Henry? Henry has an ownership of 2%. Yeah, I mean, I don't know really the best strategy for it, to be honest with you. I would say not. I don't love Henry this particular. I mean, Henry's Henry, but he's not something that kind of jumps out to me this week. Like I'd rather pay less for like a J.K. Dobbins this week or something like that. You know what I mean? Where you can kind of take advantage of another position or something like that. Jaden Reed or Nico Collins?
Jaden Reed.
Yeah, I'm going with Jaden Reed also. I do like Nico Collins. He was on one of my wide receivers that you can kind of fill in if you need help this week. But Jaden Reed, now with Christian Watson officially out, Dubs, going to be questionable. Probably going to play, but possibly could be limited, as they've said. So yeah, give me Jaden Reed as pretty much the only pass catcher on that team. Where Nico, I mean, there's a bunch of pass catchers there. I do like him, like I said. But yeah, give me Jaden Reed in this particular instance.
So really quick on that Green Bay front, Romeo Dobbs will be on a snap count. So that's even more to support
There you
Jaden
go.
Reed.
Boom. Dubes on the snap count. Stevenson was questionable. He's expected to play. He was just sick, so he'll be all right. Devontae Parker, expecting him to sit. So that means Kendrick Bourne and Juju are going to be the guys there.
Juju's a good play this week.
Yep. Looks like Devin A-Chain is not going to play. So you've got Mostert and Salvin Ahmed.
Fire up Mostert.
Guys, though, that was as we talked last night to fire up Mostert. Fire that bad boy up because Mostert's about to do his thing.
Oh man.
You've got Wan'Dale Robinson's doubtful, and then Waller came up, on the
injury
report, and we kind of talked about it. Looks like he's going to play. All signs are pointing towards him playing,
but it's not a good sign that he's already having to be on the injury report. That's not a good sign.
It's not a good sign, but if he is playing, you have to play him. The upside he has compared to anybody else you plug in there is just unmatched. So we're playing Darren Waller. We're playing Darren Waller for real. I'm feeling really good about Zay Flowers today, Pars said. And that's one of the things that we were kind of talking about earlier is who's going to be the guy, right? Is it going to be Flowers? Is it going to be Bateman? Is it going to be OBJ? I think a lot of people want it to be Flowers, but don't be surprised if it's not Flowers. Like, don't be disappointed if it's not Flowers. He's a rookie. He'll come along. But you've got an experienced player in OBJ. You've got Bateman, who's also, experienced and played as well. So it's going to be interesting to see who's the guy really that emerges. And yes, I do love Zay Flowers, but I think Bateman is really a sneaky play, this week. But we'll see how it kind of churns out there.
And also, don't forget, Isaiah likely has a rapport with Lamar Jackson as well, so that can't be understated, right? So when you're kind of looking at Zay Flowers, he is the new guy on the block. It's not to say he won't be out there, he won't get his reps, he won't get, his time on the field, but he may not get as many opportunities as we think right out of the gate. And I think the one thing we kind of have to remember. We get excited. I think we get more excited about rookie wide receivers than any other position. Because we've seen Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson kind of come out of the womb and go on the NFL field and just dominate people. So we have to be a little patient with some of these rookie wide receivers, particularly in the situations that they find themselves in. So as you said, be patient with Zay Flowers. There are more experienced guys that do have a rapport with Lamar Jackson on that Baltimore Ravens offense. And don't forget the running situation, right? Dobbins, they want to run the ball some as well with Lamar, with J.K. Dobbins, with Gus Edwards to a lesser degree. So just keep all those factors in mind. Jesus.
Yeah, so with Mark Andrews out, I'm feeling it. Yeah, I mean, listen, he can absolutely go off, but I just wouldn't be surprised if he's not as heavily involved as we think or want to. Calvin Ridley will be top 10 wide receiver this week. I can see that. They've got a good matchup.
Oh yeah, Calvin Ridley, and I think Calvin Ridley started at the beginning of when we really started drafting, sometime around May. it felt like he was a good value. But then he started climbing up draft boards because we started to see stuff at a training camp. We started to see stuff, that he is a legit dude. He is that guy we saw last time, a couple of years ago in Atlanta when he was taking over for Julio Jones. So Calvin Ridley is going to be fantastic. And it kind of feels like the perfect fit for that Jacksonville offense opposite Christian Kirk. You got Evan Ingram there. So yeah, Calvin Ridley, he can be a top 10 guy this season. Absolutely.
Yeah, I like Ridley a lot. After him being humble and giving Matt Ryan a shout out, I know he's going off. Yeah, that was very interesting to see also, So yeah, I like him. I like him a lot this year. He's part of my Supernova 12. I expect him to to really do his thing. So see how that turns out. Compared to Kadarius Toney, yeah, I mean Kadarius Toney.
Oh God.
I mean, he's always been a head case. That was always the risk with Kadarius Toney. He's just a head case. There's always some kind of issue that's happening or going on. Not only just injury related, but just like outside shit. I mean, or even just inside shit with the team. It's just always something. I mean, he was like in somebody's DMs, and there was a whole thing that came out, and he had sent like voice messages. I think I posted it on the page. But yeah, it was. I don't know, man. I don't know. So we'll see what happens with Toney. I think there's still a chance there. And again, there's nobody else there. I mean, it's not like they have a ton of talent that's just going to out get on the field for him. So yeah, Kevin, you know what? This is a really good question. And yes, I am. And you know what I did last night, actually? I watched, what was it? On YouTube, it's like QB Room or something like that. And this guy breaks down the games and the QBs and everything. And he showed Patrick Mahomes and basically all the throws and all this type of shit. And, Patrick Mahomes was trying to push it down the field a little bit more than he probably should have and took some more chances than he probably should have. Noah Gray, he could have had a few more receptions where he was kind of wide open. There were a few throws to Sky Moore or not to Sky Moore, but there were a few times where Sky Moore was open where Mahomes was reluctant to pull the trigger for some reason. But after seeing that and seeing it break down, let me see if I can find it actually. This way I can let you guys know what it is.
So right now, Blanc is trying to make the case for Sky Moore because he doesn't want to admit what we saw. So he has to.
But what did we see? A bunch of bad throws. It's not like Sky Moore was dropping the football like Toney was. He actually was getting open, and he played the most snaps and had the second most routes run on the team behind Noah Gray. So those are the good signs that he's going to be on the field and that they do trust him. But again, without Travis Kelce, it was horrible. It was a bad outing, and I can admit that. I mean, I'm not debating that. What I'm saying is that even though it was so bad, there are still some good things to look at. And again, we're not playing Sky Moore until further notice. We're not playing Toney until further notice. We're not playing these guys. All I'm saying is that they're not droppable, that there's still some hope. That's all.
I think, especially in that Thursday opening night game, right? Essentially, the NFL world and the eyes of the sports world are watching, right? It's the first game. We haven't had football for roughly 6 months. We're going to overreact to a lot of things, right? While I agree with you, the premise is not to overreact. You can't like what you saw. And I think it's good that you're being transparent in terms of, yeah, I still like him, but I can't play him right now until I see what I need to see, right? That's important because you could like a guy all you want, but to the detriment of what? Running him out there every single week and costing yourself, games where these games are limited, guys. We're only getting 14 of these bad boys in terms of fantasy. So, you really have to kind of put your emotions aside. If you really like a guy, but you don't like what you see what it looks like out on the field, you have to be realistic and say, hey, I probably have better options, right? I probably have safer floors. I probably have more upside in this particular guy. So you really have to kind of look at it from that perspective and kind of check your emotions, especially if you really, really like a guy as much as fucking Steve loves him some Sky Moore.
It's not that I just love me some Sky Moore. I just think that he's
You had him on the screen during an entire show. Don't tell me you don't really love Sky Moore. You had him on the screen during a whole show. Don't give me that.
For this week, everything was aligned for Sky Moore, and it didn't happen. Okay,
no arguments there.
We took the L there. I took the L there, and that's all fine and dandy. But you know, when we're looking at the totality of things, and you really look at it, and I posted the YouTube in the chat of what I watched last night. This way, y'all can kind of look at it and see it for yourself. Where this guy kind of breaks down the whole Patrick Mahomes and all that. And you can just watch Sky Moore number 24, and then tell me what you think after watching it. How this guy breaks it down, which is really good.
So really quick, as I was watching the game, there were a couple of things that I noticed with respect to Sky Moore. There were some games where, I mean, there were some throws or plays where he didn't look big enough to go up and make the play. Like, was it an overthrow or did Mahomes have to put it in that spot? You know what I mean? So just something I was watching and something I noticed where if it's a Juju Smith-Schuster or if it's a Travis Kelce, do they go up and make that play? You know what I mean? So there were a couple of plays that way where is it an overthrow or did Patrick Mahomes have to put it in that spot? Now, he's worked with a shorter kind of receiver in Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's not the biggest dude in the world, but so he should be able to kind of find him based on his size, his catch radius. I know that's something that you bring up sometimes in terms of like catch radius, but I wonder if there are better days ahead. And I'm thinking you think there are.
Yeah, I do think there are, for sure. And again, Travis Kelce is going to open up a lot. And the first overthrow that he had to Sky Moore, he actually had Sky Moore open way before that, and he didn't pull the trigger for whatever reason. That it was. I actually think I got it right here. But yeah, Kevin says Sky's one of the players he wants to on the low, buy low, to be honest, as cheap as he is. Yeah, especially after a game like that where people are just going to drop him or not going to want him at all. I mean, if you could get him as a throw-in in a trade or something like that, then you know, absolutely. But as much as I like Sky Moore, again, like you said, we have to be realistic, right? We can't play him right now. Until further notice. Ending up trading Thielen for him yesterday in the league that's free money in Dynasty. Yeah, I mean, you're trading Adam Thielen, an older guy, for a guy like Sky Moore, man. Yeah, absolutely. Give me some of that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, for the rest of the season. But definitely, go check out that video if you want, guys. You can kind of see how this guy breaks down the whole Patrick Mahomes, and it's not about Sky Moore. It's just Patrick Mahomes in general and all the kind of throws and all that kind of stuff. But if you just watch, you can see number 24 Sky Moore, and you can determine for yourself what you think, how good you think he was or was not, and you can see those throws as well, a little more detail, where he kind of breaks it down. But we are 20 minutes or so away. Calvin Ridley or Amari? My bad, Dylan. Calvin Ridley or Amari Cooper at the flex in a 10-man.
Ooh, I think Calvin Ridley has some more upside this week. Yeah, I'm gonna go Calvin Ridley here.
Yeah, give me Calvin Ridley as well. They've got a great matchup, and Amari Cooper could very well go off too. I mean, that could be a shootout. So, but yeah, give me Ridley. I think if you don't believe in Ridley, you can play it safe with Amari. I don't think it's going to be like one guy's going to bust and one guy's going to go crazy. I think they're both going to have good games, to be honest. So, but yeah, give me Ridley by a hair there. Parr said he likes Justin Ross as a midseason sleeper. I like Justin Ross as well. The problem is he's just not heavily involved, and he's not in as much packages. He's not on the field as you would want. I think I had the snap counts up here the other day with the routes run and everything. Ross was just not very much involved, or Rashee Rice. I mean, Rashee Rice had like 20 snaps, but he was involved in the goal line packages. So that was interesting to see. Now, does that change when Travis Kelce comes back? Like, there's a lot. I don't think we know anything about the Chiefs offense right now. I feel like without Travis Kelce there for that game one, we don't really know anything. Well, all we do know is that without Travis Kelce, they suck. As of right now, I think that's the one thing you can kind of see. But I think with Travis Kelce there, he's going to open up some other things, obviously, and this offense will be a lot better. But I don't think we can determine who's really going to be the guy yet. My money's still on Sky Moore. I think he's in the Juju role, so I think he's gonna be a lot better as the season progresses. But until then, until further notice, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes and really nobody else that you can play on the Chiefs other than Kelce.
For sure.
Thanks, Wes. I'm thinking really too, but Deshaun going to cook. Yeah, listen, I'm with that too. I think Elijah Moore has a big game this week, but
you can make the case for both guys, honestly.
Oh,
they're number one wide receivers on. But the thing I think that separates the two, especially, is, you know, while we believe in Deshaun Watson, we need to kind of see that connection materialize, right? We want to see it. We want to see Amari Cooper go out there and grab 8 for 100 and a touchdown. Like, we want to see that. We haven't seen Calvin Ridley either, but I think Calvin Ridley with that offense, with what we've seen in training camp and in the preseason, I think Calvin Ridley has sky high potential this particular season. I'm higher on Calvin Ridley this week and really over the course of the season. Now, I think Amari Cooper is still really good. He has low end wide receiver 1 potential, but I think Calvin Ridley is the more explosive guy at this point.
I'm in that boat as well. And, you know, listen, we took the L with Sky Moore, but we're going to take the W with J.K. Dobbins today, I think. We're going to take the W here. We're going to redeem ourselves.
I'm going to take the W with Jaden Reed.
Okay.
I think we should do that too. Make that a little segment where kind of like under the radar guys, or maybe guys that you don't think, kind of fill in potential guys.
Let's go by position. You know.
Okay.
So I guess I'll go with JK at running back. A lot of people think this week that maybe he does have a good matchup, but a lot of people are not on JK. I mean, he's a guy that people don't really have trust in, especially with getting the work. So I'll go with JK there. But what running back do you think would be a good matchup, a good guy that you want to go with right here?
I think I'm going to take Gibby here.
Gibson?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I'm going to take Gibby because I like that. I think especially against Arizona, I think he'll have some really good work, and even throughout the game, right? Because I think they want to mix both of those guys in. So I think I'm going to take Gibby here as a potential W.
All right, and then you went with Jaden Reed.
I did.
Let's see, who am I going to go with here? Let's go with. Damn. I'm trying to think who would be a good. Let's go with Cooks. Let's go with Cooks against the Giants.
Ooh, I love that. I love that pick, honestly.
Let's go with Cooks. So we got JK, we got Gibby, we got Reed, we got Cooks. Oh, my bad, Brian. I didn't see that there. Montgomery or Dameon Pierce as my running backs. Thinking of either Mostert or Mike Williams.
Mostert. Fire up Mostert.
I'm going with Mostert, but I won't be surprised if Mike Willie catches a bomb or two. But I'm going to go with Mostert here. It's just going to be the safer play. Mike Williams is going to be hit or miss. Or, you know, to be fair, I'm not actually opposed to going Monty Mostert, Mike Williams in the flex, to be honest, and sitting Pierce.
Monty played already.
Yeah, Monty played already, so he's locked in. But you got either Pierce or Mostert and Mike Williams, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
He's thinking play Pierce, and then who do I play in the flex? Mostert. Or Williams. I think I might argue to play Mostert and Mike Williams and sit Dameon Pierce.
Okay. I'm not opposed to that. Oh my God. Mike Williams frustrates the fuck out of me. He really does. And I was a Mike Williams fan for a little while. You know, I had him on my dynasty team, you know, especially that a couple of years ago when he was just going off. And I was like, oh, yes, Mike Williams finally found it. He's got the quarterback. The sky's the limit for this guy. And then he goes out there and just plays like absolute dog shit. And I'm like, bro, come on, Mike. Like, come on. So Mike Williams does have the higher upside than Dameon Pierce. So I'm playing Mostert. I'm moving Mostert into the RB2 spot and then flipping a coin on Dameon Pierce or Mike Williams. But you got to think that's going to be a high scoring game, and Mike Williams has some higher potential than a Dameon Pierce, which Houston could be down big in that game on Baltimore, and you wonder how much Dameon Pierce is going to get, how much work he's going to get carrying the ball. So you can make that argument, and I really couldn't refute it.
Yeah, that's my thinking, because I do think that's going to be a great game between Miami and the Chargers. And if that's a high-scoring game, I mean, you got to think Mike Williams is going to be some sort of way a part of that if it's going to be, a game like that. So
he does have a habit of disappearing. He does have a habit of disappearing. So
he does, but we're talking about the flex. We're talking about
upside.
a 10-team league. We need to go with the upside here, I think. So that would be my argument to make there, Brian. Tell me what you think about that. Kevin said, I think Gibby and B-Rob get it today. Yeah, they got a great matchup. I think both of them go do their thing. If we had to pick tight ends, Hammer, what tight end do you think would be? Who would you go with at tight end today if you had to fill in for somebody?
Well, we talked about Dulcich yesterday. I think Dulcich is a nice play. I don't think Jerry Jeudy's going to play. I do like Dulcich. You brought up Trey McBride, which is an interesting play as well. I don't know how much that Arizona offense is going to move the ball. We brought up Musgrave a ton. There were a bunch of questions about Musgrave. So I think there's going to be opportunities from Musgrave as well, kind of like an under the radar guy. Yeah, give me Dulcich here.
Okay. I like that. Dulcich. I'm going to go with Juwanna Man Johnson.
Okay.
Me, Juwanna Man. And let's go, I guess, QB.
It's really hard to say under the radar QB, but if there was somebody I want to take a W on, I'm going Tua here.
Oh, I was going to go Tua too, but okay. Go Tua. Okay.
Go Herbie.
Yeah, I guess I would go Herbie then. With some of the other guys here. Yeah, I'll go Herbert. And if you want a spicy one, I'd go Kenny Pickett.
I was actually Kenny Pickett entered my mind. Yeah. Kenny Pickett entered my mind, and I didn't want to be a homer and say Jordan Love, so that's kind of why I went with Tua. And the fact that Christian Watson's out does worry me a little bit about Jordan Love's upside, missing his big splash play receiver. So I'm a little more down on Jordan Love this particular week. I really would have loved to see him with his full complement out there, and then Dubes being on a snap count. So if I want to go really spicy, I'll go Desmond Ridder.
Ooh, okay.
They have a really good young nucleus, and they have a decent matchup against Carolina. And I think having Bijan is going to take a ton of pressure off Kyle Pitts and Drake London, and it's just that simple. So if Desmond Ridder is any kind of competent quarterback, now I don't think Desmond Ridder is starting in a ton of leagues, but if you're in a super flex 2-quarterback league, not a ton of injuries at the quarterback position going into this week. So that pretty much means that everybody is healthy, but maybe you kind of punted on that super flex quarterback for a while, like I did in our subscriber league, and maybe have Desmond Ridder in the super flex. So I think Desmond Ridder has a fantasy worthy type game.
Brian said he believes Pierce has a harder matchup. Yep. I'll stick with Mostert as RB2 and Williams as a flex. Yeah, I think that would be the best, the optimal lineup for you.
I like
also
that
have
word.
Swift on the bench, but I don't think he's worthy of a spot. No, he's not worthy of a spot there.
Not over those guys that you have.
No. Have they announced who's starting for Arizona? Yes, Dobbs is Dobbs.
Does it matter who's starting for Arizona?
Kev said, wouldn't surprise me if Purdy looks like trash first game back.
I you know what? That could have been
deep down, I want it to happen.
No, honestly, I think that could be another spicy pick at the quarterback position is Brock Purdy, bro. Anytime Brock Purdy rolls out there, he's been good. Like, you're going to get 250 yards, you're going to get 2 touchdowns, very little turnovers. So Brock Purdy is a very spicy pick as well. That's going to be a hell of a game, San Francisco and Pittsburgh. 2 good defenses. I just think San Francisco has more offensively, but the great unknown is what that Steelers offense, that revamped Steelers offense, is going to look like with Kenny Pickett kind of slinging it all over the field. Oh, man, we are fucking 10 minutes away.
Yeah, we are 10 minutes away. Guys, throw any last second questions you got out there because we are about to hop off this. I got to double check my lineups real quick. I think I'm all set, but... Yeah, man. Any last second questions, throw them out. We are about to get started. I'm actually hungry. I need to go grab something to eat right quick.
Same. I'm about to actually order some Buffalo Wild Wings.
I was thinking about ordering something, but fucking that shit is so expensive when you order that shit. I might just have to go get it.
Yeah, it is. I might have, my wife is at IKEA with her mom. So I'm about to be like, hey, babe, I'm going to place this order. So
come pick that shit up. What you want, pick it up. I'm busy.
20 wings, honey barbecue. I got all the, I'm swimming in Mountain Dew over here. So we are good. I actually have some Sapporos. Ooh, yeah, we're ready.
All right, guys, we're about to dip up out of here. Appreciate all y'all for coming out.
Get those dubs. Get those dubs.
We'll be here every Sunday morning. I'll post it during the week. Probably I will post a something that you'll see up on the screen here of when our shows are going to be, because I think we're going to be, other than the game days like Mondays, Thursdays, and Sunday nights, we'll probably be on. Well, I'll probably be on all those other nights. Hopefully, Hammer can join me. But yeah, I think maybe that's what we'll do. We'll figure out some kind of schedule. But appreciate